skiers, I'm Jeff from Skiessentials.com. As you could probably tell from that introduction, today we're going to talk about these limited edition Mindbender Burst skis and boots from K2. So really exciting. I'm sure a lot of you recognize this graphic. Basically K2 and Sean Pettit kind of decided to do something fun with the Mindbender collection. So this is a throwback graphic. This is the Merlin 7 graphic from 1998 on a pair of Mindbender 108 Ti skis. Super cool. It's funny, like I had a pair of these skis back in 1998 or maybe like the year after, but we were talking about it just internally among our staff when they came in. We were looking at them. We were like, those look so wide, because I think subconsciously we're like, even it was 23 years ago, it's still like my mind wants to see that graphic on a narrower ski, I think. So really cool. I mean, I love the graphic. I love the idea of it. And then they did a kind of color matching Mindbender 130 boot. So we haven't really done many boot reviews. That is something that we're going to start doing at some point down the road. But it's a great boot, a great boot for anybody that wants to kind of just have a versatile ski boot that they can use for touring. It's got tech fittings on it, but also really good in the resort. Pretty darn lightweight. I remember the first time I saw this boot and picked it up, I was pretty impressed, and I know a lot of people that ski it and really like it. So yeah, if you want to get the whole set, you can. And there's only, I believe there's 12 shops in the United States that have these skis and boots. So pretty exciting that we have them here at Ski Essentials, and we don't have many, so take advantage of it while you can. And with this release, I thought it was a fun time to just do like kind of a refresher mini review of the Mindbender 108 Ti. I grabbed this pair, which happens to be the 2021 graphic. We actually have already skied the 2022 graphic as well. So this is kind of like a hybrid 2021-2022 review, I suppose. Ski isn't changing at all for 2022, so that will be the third year of the Mindbender 108, unchanged, just graphic updates. And yeah, let's talk about it. So I grabbed that pair, wanted to ski them yesterday because we had some softer snow. That ended up being more like freezing rain. And freezing rain's pretty challenging stuff to film in, so had to push it back a day. Skied them today. Had like a mix of just like firm groomers, which is not really the desired application for these skis, but also a little bit of soft snow in there too. So just really fun to get back out on them. Just a quick refresher of construction. So this is the widest ski in the Mindbender line that uses metal, and in all of them, it's Titanal Y-beam. So Mindbender skis are kind of all about controlling the amount of torsional stiffness in different areas of the ski, whether they do it with metal or with carbon. That's kind of the gist of it, and that's actually trickled into other skis too. Like they use a different application of it, but a very similar concept in the Reckoner skis with carbon. So similar carbon weave, but where it's tighter and looser is different than in the Mindbenders. But in these metal versions, we get metal along the edges and the tip, full width metal underfoot, and then it tapers to just in kind of the middle of the ski. It's been a few years since we skied this thing for the first time. We do have a full review of it when it first came out if you want to go back and watch that a little bit more in depth. But it's funny to see, or not funny, but it's interesting to see how this construction technique has kind of been used, or similar things have started popping up in other skis. And I think it's probably thanks to these in some regard. There are other companies that are doing similar things like Rustlers and stuff like that, and now we're seeing more and more of like these kind of partial metal laminates. But yeah, the idea is by having metal along the edge in the forebody, you get more torsional stiffness up here, and then a little bit looser in the tail, so easier edge release out of the tail. It's still a pretty darn powerful ski. They also have K2's Powerwall sidewall, Basically, it's milled into the core of the ski, so it's not just like stacked on top. It's integrated into the ski and really gives it a more direct power transfer underfoot. Those are pretty much the two most important elements of construction, especially that Titanal Y-beam in my opinion. And then these skis, the Mindbender skis, have all-terrain rocker or all-mountain rocker, with exception of the really wide one, I'm pretty sure. So relatively low rise, low splay, but pretty long rocker in the tip. And then a little bit shorter, but a similar shape to the tail. So not like crazy rockered like we see in some skis, not tons of camber. It's a very nice mix of both of those things. And to me, among skis in the 110 waist width range, or 105 to 110, or 105 to 115, or whatever you want to call it, in that kind of width range of freeride skis, I do think this is one of the most well-rounded. Its construction gives it a very strong, stable feel. So like today was good to put that to the use because I skied some steep, pretty firm terrain. They have good edge grip, they stay smooth and stable, and they feel powerful. But then there's definitely some quickness to this ski too, which was something that really kind of shocked me at first. The first time I skied them a few years ago, is we went and skied some moguls and stuff like that, and I was kind of like, I want to wait underfoot with a bunch of metal in it. Like, this is not going to be that much fun. And they're a lot more playful and more agile than you would expect just looking at like their shape and the fact that they have metal and the weight and all of that kind of stuff. If on paper they don't look as playful as they are. I give a lot of credit to the tail shape, the amount of rise that they have back here in the tail, and the tapered shape to the tail in the kind of last, 20 centimeters or so of the ski. It is kind of nicely tapered. And then by not having metal along the edges too, it definitely allows for some quickness. I skied a little bit of tight trees this morning and was happy with how quick the ski is, and it really reminded me of that agile yet strong feel. And I actually skied the 186 today, which I thought was fun and interesting because I typically ski the 179. And if you've watched the original Mindbender 108 review on our channel, I talked at quite great length in that review about how the 179 was plenty of ski for me. I still think it is. If I was buying a pair for myself, I still think I'd probably go 179. But still, even on that 186, I didn't really have any trouble throwing it around, maneuvering it, stuff like that. I also think the shape works really well in powder. Unfortunately, I didn't get to ski any powder today, and weirdly, sometimes this happens. Every time I get on these skis, I either don't have a camera with me and the snow is really soft, or we do have cameras with us and the snow is really firm, so we don't have that much footage of skiing powder on them. But I think this shape really helps a lot, and they're not bouncy, playful skis, like the Reckoner 112. I actually skied that the other day on a powder day, and that's way more bouncy, playful, likes to hop and jump and skip around. But these are really good for somebody who is looking for a ski that's capable in powder, that's not going to feel too demanding and too catchy, but still wants some stability. They can get back on a groomer or a cat track and make some high-speed turns, or later in the day when things get tracked out, this ski does really well. It doesn't feel like it has a ton of float, but 108 underfoot is still it doesn't have a ton of float among skis that wide, but 108 underfoot is plenty. It's just those like the Reckoner 112, again, would be a great example of a ski with more float. But yeah, I think we'll leave it with that, to keep this video kind of short and subtle. But great ski, very well-rounded freeride ski. It's strong, it feels damp and smooth. I think dampness is something that's kind of important to communicate about these skis, is they do feel nice and damp. They're not crazy stiff. There's plenty of other skis out there that are stiffer, but they feel very smooth. And a great ski to pair with that Mindbender 130 boot. So let us know if you have any questions about them. Again, we don't have too many of these. I want to say 6 to 8 pairs, so they'll probably be gone pretty soon. We do, I think, have a fair amount of this year's graphic in the 108, so if you're not able to pick up this graphic, you can always get that one too, which I think they did a really good job with. The kind of clean white finish, and a lot of that actually carries over to next year's 108 as well. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions, and we will see you guys out there on the slopes.